Hello, Poku. Testing everything's working. Oh, it's loading up a replay race in the background. Just gonna make sure everything is come through correctly. Audio on my end may be a little loud, but we can cope with it. Might turn it down a little bit. So I do notice my thingy's gone a little bit out of view. So let's just adjust that slightly. There we go. And we are gonna just turn off the wheel for a few minutes whilst we get set up. If anyone's in the room, let me know if the audio balance is all right and stuff. Oh, I've got HD streaming for the look at that. 1080p 60 frames a second. Never achieved that in my life in the history of my ever streaming ever. So that's good news. Fantastic stuff. Okie dokie. Right. So what we're going to do, we are going to try to beat qualifying time for Suzuka circuit, which is on for, well, it's on for another week. So I really want to grind down and get a better time. I'm really frustrated of doing this track and feeling like I'm only at the middle of the pack, which I expect at this point. But you know, if you can get better, then why not try? And other people are able to get like a good few seconds ahead of me per lap in the same car, and it's obviously something about how I'm driving it or some of the braking zones I'm taking. So we are going to try some of them. But to do that, before we start, we're going to watch the best lap I've set so far, and then we're going to watch the best lap that's ever been set in that car on that track. I think that's a good approach. So I stored my best lap time, which I actually set. I actually earlier in the day today managed to beat my best lap time only just. I was originally on, as you can see highlighted here, a 2:03.666, and I only just managed to scrape it earlier. But I really want to see where I can make some gains where I'm shaving off a couple of seconds or a second or so, or half a second, something just a bit more meaningful than under a tenth of a second that I've managed to shave. So let's have a watch at the best replay that I've done so far. Now I feel like it's kind of weird because this lap here feels like a neater lap. It was set in a different car. You can see I used the RSF Alexis on this lap. And that was with the traction control on as well, I believe. So, no, actually, I think I turned it off to achieve the 2:03.6. Now, this one I've been using the R8, which has been setting a lot of the best lap times on the leaderboards and stuff. So I thought I'd move over to R8, see if I can tune to it, turn off the traction control, and really sort of change some of the more braking zones in the corners compared to the Alexis. And I've almost got it down to the same pace. And now it's just a case of trying to push on a bit more. So yeah, we're going to watch this replay. And then we're going to watch the best replay and see if we can see where we're losing a bit of time. I believe we can even use the ghosts. We can load a ghost from the best replay, and perhaps we can use the time difference between myself and the ghost to be able to tell where on the track I'm losing the most time. And then we know where our problem corners are. That's another sort of idea I've been thinking about today of how to really grind down this qualifying time for the daily races. So let's just let this load up. Let's before we start, let's go to our driving view and let's just go back to start and make sure we've got all of our details on screen. So here I've got the traction control off. You can tell because we don't have a little symbol for the traction control. So brake at 50, which is something I've learned recently. And see, with that turn now, I've taken that pretty well. But I think we can get through that faster. We can definitely get through that a bit faster. So just trying to play with the accelerator as I go around the S-bends here. And I probably took that a little bit too wide. So definitely can make a bit of gain there. Like I said, this doesn't feel like a neater lap than my previous 2:03. So there's definitely time that we can make out of this. We'll watch this, then we'll watch the best actual lap that's been set, and then we will go to track and see if we can actually put some of our theory into there. So I think I took that pretty well. Tried to get my wheels straight before I come fully on the accelerator so I don't spin out. There's a couple of areas on this track where you are liable for spinning out if you're not really controlling that progressive acceleration. So it's taken me a while again to attune to the lack of traction control. Didn't struggle with that at all on GT4 cars, which was the previous race on the very first video I put up on the channel. But let's that's my little plastic bag. So we come full throttle through here, and you see I half throttled there by coming off at 100. Brake just before the 100 sign, full brake, and you see I've got a little bit of oversteer and a little bit of spin off there, which I managed to fight back with counter steer. Coming back down now, taking the inside line for the best lap time for 203.6. So that is the best I've managed to do so far, which, quite honestly, like I said, it's actually not that much of a neat lap. I've done much neater laps before, but it just seemed to... The timings, I must have been on the accelerator at a certain time, which I hadn't been doing before, which just seemed to gain me that little bit of time. So, let's now go and watch, for that lap, the current best, one of the best lap times anyway, or if not the best lap time set in that car. So it's the R8. Which, as we go through this, so you can see it's the second lap, and we're going to watch the qualifying rankings, and you can see these are your friends lists, and you can see my 203.6 and your top 10 stars. So these are the top 10 race times that have been set. So you can see someone set a 1:57 there, so I'm a good 5 seconds away from where people are able to really push these cars into. So yeah, I think we'll just watch the top one, eh? Why not? And let's just see perhaps what might have been done differently on this one in comparison to some of the others, and then we can use that as a ghost in order to race against. I don't know whether to race against the ghost of my best lap time or the ghost of the best lap time on the leaderboard. I feel like if I'm racing the ghost of the best lap time on the leaderboard, I can see the time difference and see where perhaps the gap's getting bigger at certain. So if there's a certain part of the race where I lose 2 seconds in that gap, then I know that's the corner I'm losing the most time on. You know, that's kind of my theory. Let's switch that over to the good view. So he's coming through there at 130 miles per hour already. Now I know I come through there. I know these are only small margins, but I come through there. Best I can get is 125. So I don't know if there's something people are doing pre-lap to... So I'm going to skip back there just a little bit, 10 seconds, and I might have to go back a bit through. So if you can see the brake, I don't know if people know, but you see the HUD in the middle, you've got the gear bar, and then on the left and right you've got the accelerator and the brake, and you can see what he does on the accelerator. He turns, accelerates half brake all the way through up until he gets to just before the apex, and then he accelerates out. Now that, I feel like I do that close, but I brake a lot harder on that, so losing a lot of pace through that turn. So you can see here it drops down to second gear. I rarely drop to second gear on this bit, so that's something to consider. Let's just edge this way up there. I feel like I've got this bit relatively clean. So he brakes at the 50 mark. Now again, I'm watching a few things at once here. This is why I have to go back sometimes, because there I was watching the point of he brake. Now I'm watching how much he brakes. Now you see the brake line there. The brake marker, it only goes up half bar, so it only ever so lightly feathers that brake on the 50 mark and then turns. Now there, something I've noticed is he accelerated straight out of the apex there. So again, apologies for keep going back here, but I'm just noticing things that this person does that I don't. So first turn we've talked about, but this second turn, if you watch his accelerator, when he starts pushing the accelerator, it's when he hits the apex there. Now my thing is, out of fear of kicking out of traction control, I don't start accelerating until I'm at really the turn exit. So full brake down here, trail brake around the corner, wait till we can get his wheel straight, then accelerate and turn it out. So I think we've got that bit pretty nailed, but I'm already seeing a couple of areas where I feel like this is where I'm losing a lot of time. So he comes through here, brakes just on that road. And again, I was watching the braking zone, but this time we're going to watch for how much braking was applied and what he did with the accelerator. So here, full brake, only it touched a full brake and then progressively brake down. Light on the brakes there just to bring the speed down to gear 2, and using the full length of the track in order to get the maximum speed out of the car. So now let's see what he does here. So he comes almost, so he doesn't quite come off full off accelerator, but he waited to the 50. So I'm going to go back. You wait. You see the boards at the side here. He doesn't make a move until he hits that 50 board, and when he hits that 50 board, sharp turn, and then he only has about a quarter acceleration, but that gets him through that turn at 145. Now previously, on my best time, I could get through at 140, and that's where I come off to half accelerator at the 100 meter board. So interesting. And then he just comes down, and let me just again, apologies for watching the same footage over and over, but we're just going to look about how he did through the chicane here. So took that nice. Now the track limits on this track aren't that great, so you can cut that corner a fair amount, which means you can get your wheel straight sooner, which means you can get on the accelerator sooner. And he comes through there at 130 miles per hour. So somehow we've got to manage to do that exit on that chicane to make sure we're hitting 130 miles per hour as we're going past the line. Now normally when I do this, I'm always going 125, so I'm obviously not doing something right out the exit there, which is kind of impacting my lap time on both ends. At the start of the lap, as you know, my speed going through the start, other people are getting through at a faster time, so that means the whole first straight they're getting through there, so they're gaining, you know, must be at least half a second just through that, just through the speed going through just at the start of the lap. So you know, you can see, and if you're if you're a GT Sport player and you're looking to get into this, a really good way to learn is just by watching what other people do and using the HUD down below to understand what they're doing with their brake, the acceleration, and how the gearing through things. So let's go to track now and see if we can put at least some of the ideas that we looked at into practice. So we've got 8 minutes until the race started. We're not going to enter into race until we're a bit more happier with our time. I mean, I'm relatively happy. It took me ages to get that 203.6. I'm not disparaging the 203.6, but I just feel like, again, I don't ever sit here and think, oh, I'm going to be best in the world. But if other people can do it, there's a way it can be done, you know? So let's see if we can do that. But in order to push yourself, when I'm doing this anyway, again, I don't know if I practice right or anything like that, but trying to make my practice efficient. It's very easy to do inefficient practice. Right, let's get the wheel up, make sure that can be seen, which it can be. Fantastic. Make sure everything is ready to go. It feels a bit wonky, so sorry about this, guys. Let's try and get us a better camera view. How's that? Apart from being not in the right place. Let's just tweak things over a little bit. Oh dear. Oh, now you can see my legs. Now you can see my face. Get off. That was not what I was ready for. This is not fun at all. We need to get some proper equipment at some point, but you got to make do with what you got for now. And what I've got is not much. So I keep accidentally hitting the focus thing, and I don't know why I didn't just leave it how it was, because although it wasn't perfect, you could at least see the wheel. Let's just bring this down a little bit more. I think that's the best I'm going to be able to get for you guys. So let's have a go then. So we're not going to be able to put all the things we've worked out into practice straight away on our first lap. We're going to focus one thing at a time. Which I think is always the best way of doing it, because you try and overwhelm and try and do too much, you know, you're nailing something on the first turn and then you're trying something new on the last turn, which means, you know, you're never going to get a clean lap. So let's see bit by bit what it does to our lap time. So first focus is turn one. Turn one, are we doing this correctly? Are we doing this right? So now there is the ghost settings you can do here, which you can load in different ghosts and stuff and offset them and stuff like that. Load ghosts, so we've got a few here. So got my previous best lap times that I can load in there. As you can see, been quite close to the 203.6, but never seemed to get below that before. But I think what I'm going to do is load in, I believe I can do it from here. This one here is load the ghost, like so. And let's see how whereabouts we're losing a lot of time. So I'm just going to try and do normal lap, a consistent lap as we go out. I might have to adjust my seat position here because I don't feel quite right, but for now, and you'll see my speed coming through here is about 100, see about 123 as I come through there, and you can see already the gap between myself and the Audi is staggering, you know. I've gone in too hard, didn't gear down, which meant lost complete control, pushing too hard, and let's go again. Again. So, and we're only about 125 going through there, so they're always going to have the edge at the start of the race. And again, I feel like the thing I'm forgetting to do, and the reason why I'm losing that is I'm not gearing down and using the engine braking to assist with the car speeding down, so that's why I'm losing all of my grip. And I'm braking hard and I'm turning at the same time when realistically I need to do brake. Obviously I need to slow the car down, but there's other means other than just slamming your brake on or slowing the car down, and that's how people get through this at the fastest time. Now that I went through that very slow, too busy concentrating on talking and not on what I'm doing in front of me. So you can see took that a bit too slow, a bit heavy on the brake there. So this is what I mean about I'm not worrying about some of the, I want to focus exclusively on this turn, and that's what I'm going to do until I've got it right. So we're a bit faster through that one, about 125. Still obviously not up to the pace of our fastest man, but we're not doing bad. A bit too slow through there, and again I'm concentrating more on the braking than I am on gearing, which means we're just going to keep spinning out in that way. Let's have another go. So we're going to brake into the chicane, make sure we hit those apexes. Now it's a bit late onto the accelerator there, so we're probably not going to get the speed that we'd like, but again I'm just trying to set a marker lap for us just to get us away. So we were a little bit faster out there. You notice we managed to keep a little bit of speed up with him, but so we're not. So if we can take it like that, we're not too far away from the best lap times there. I don't know how he's keeping that speed, but getting through this, so you can see we're losing him a bit here. So I say we're about a second behind here, so we've lost about a second through that. Now I was hoping it would show me the time, a differential between me and him, but it unfortunately hasn't seemed to do that. So it resets the ghost position for us, which is very helpful actually. Didn't realise it did that, to help us get through some of the sections a bit faster. Will help is, you know, if the ghost was really far ahead, then, you know, you can do it section by section. That's actually really helpful. Although it'd be nice to have the choice of whether you want that or not, or whether you just want to see the true ghost lap, if you will. It's a bit late onto the accelerator there. I still don't feel like this is a bad lap time that we're setting here, but you know, so we're going to come off at around the 50 mark completely. Now I hit the grass there, which probably, you know, you can see my speed dropped to 130, so I lost a bit of time through that last turn there. And we know that he is efficient at getting through this, much more efficient than me. I might have cut that a little too much. But let's see what time that comes in at. So we'll definitely not beat our time, but we've got a 2:04.2. So now we've got 2 ghosts on the car, on the track, my previous lap, and also the chat that we need to. So now this is going to be a dud lap, but I don't want to restart because now we've got both our ghosts on the track. We can focus on really pushing the rest of the lap and just practicing our new techniques on the rest of the lap now. So now that we're not trying to push this, you know, this is now a dud lap and we just need to get around the track anyway. Now's your chance to experiment and really play with the braking lines. So the first one I want to test is coming up through Dunlop corner and seeing if I can see. I'm going to hit about the 50 mark, brake, 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 straight on. Now the one thing I am doing wrong there, which I know, which I've remembered from what we watched last time, was he only half broke through that. I don't feel like we're that far behind this guy, you know. Not like he's flying ahead. I mean, obviously he's already got a second on me here, so it's not like we're doing fantastic, but... And again, pushing too hard to try and keep up with the ghost car is just... Oh, there goes my traction. Lost all my grip. And let's see if we can do a bit better. So got a penalty there, 1.5 second penalty for colliding into the barrier. So we'll serve that penalty as oh. Now I don't feel it's going to be very fair if that impacts my next lap, because you know. So we got through there about 132, but we didn't have the kind of correct run in. We obviously would have been going much faster had we not screwed up the last turn. So he gets, you see how fast he gets through that apex. So I must be, I don't think my issue is actually on the exit. It's actually on the entrance. I think my problem is that I go through the actual chicane itself too slow. So I still have this 2.5 penalty, which is a little bit frustrating, especially in qualifying. Oh, and if you don't brake, Rob, you will crash. Doesn't matter because I already got a 2.5 penalty anyway, which I have to serve. I just don't understand why it did give me it. Maybe at the end of the lap or at, you know, the penalty line on the last lap. Still, let's just get around the track and then we'll have another pop at the lap on the next go round. So I'm just gonna not push ourselves, but just get around the track. Again, issue. We pushing the limits again. Let's see what we can get away with. Bye, Ghost. So we can try out this corner, but unfortunately the next one we can't. So a little light brake there, then full acceleration without hitting the AstroTurf, which we have. So even if that was a proper lap, it would have been a bit of a dud. Anyway, so let me just turn this. Okie dokie. So let's go through a bit faster. So oh, for God's sake, another half-second penalty. Let's just see if we can keep up with the pace. Well, for now. Messed up a little bit on these S-bends, losing a little bit too much time, little light on the brake there, so we can get the good line up through Dunlop turn, come off the accelerator a little bit, and also run off. Full power through here, and then we're just going to light brake. Oh, I did. The problem was there, guys, is I forgot to turn. If you don't turn through corners, you're not going to make it. So we've got another penalty to serve here, half second, so just take the penalty on the chin. Oh, and we spun out there, took that a little too close, and we're going to brake, try and get through this a little bit more efficiently. So we've got lined up for a clean lap now. Let's turn one's easily the hardest, I find. Well, hardest to make sure you've got the most efficient time out of it anyway. Ah, caught the curbstone and span off. So again, this is I think why I've struggled with Suzuka, because it's the first turn that's the hardest. I'm finding that generally means that, you know, if you don't get it right, it's a dud lap, you know. Which I suppose, I don't know if that's more or less frustrating if it was the last turn. If I'd, like, you know, nailed a lap and felt like I was doing really well, and then I'm spinning off on the last turn, that's got to be frustrating. But, you know, at least you're chasing something through the lap. Whereas if you're spinning off on the first turn, you're just nothing more soul destroying. Progressive braking as well. I think that's what I'm not doing. What I wasn't doing on my previous lap times is progressive braking, which, I mean, not progressive braking, trail braking is what I'm trying to say. It keeps coming out as progressive braking for literally no reason. Okay, that's interesting. I did get through it that time. So I think we did quite a good last section there. Be interesting to see that lap particular when we exit the session and it shows us all the breakdowns and stuff like that. It'd be very interesting to see. So you can see we've got a much better speed going through here. And you can see I caught the curbstone, which meant I'm going to lose a bunch of speed, but not lost a lap yet. We're a little bit behind our best, but lost a lot of speed on that curbstone there, and we've gone through wide on this line as well. Just touch the brake there, see if we can get on that, on the inside of that turn to be able to hit this apex nicely. And then we will brake on the 50 and trail brake through, see if we can, no, pushing too much again. Oh God, not having a good night. Not having a good night at all. Pushing too hard. So we'll see this lap through and mooch on to lap number 7, see if we can nail this again. But a bit disappointing that out of the 6 laps we've tried, I've only managed to do one real clean one, and that was the first lap, which again was a restart lap, you know. So one thing I might do, I might mess around with the camera because it's right on my shoulder, and I keep having to move a little bit left from where the steering wheel is, so I'm not hitting the camera. I'm blaming that completely on my driving, obviously. That's the reason why things haven't been going well. Oh, I've cut that corner. Definitely getting a penalty on that one. No penalty. Genuine surprise, right. Let's have another go, guys. Let's not mess it up on turn 1 again. Again. Oh, God. Whew. Right, I am gonna, just whilst we're waiting here, I'm just gonna move this a little bit because, like I said, it's right in my way and it's making it really hard to not try and like change my body position so I'm not on it. I do need a proper bracket for the camera at some point. Just stay where I command you, you arse. Why is everything so difficult, eh? Can't things just be simple in life? Okay, that's completely looking at the wrong place, but it feels a lot more secured. Oh, now we've got a fucking moth. Go away. I'll tell you what, today is just not my day, guys. Having one of them. Get out, go on, bugger off. Just got to show this moth out my room. Excuse me. Do you mind leaving, or else you're going to fly right in my face? Normally moths don't bother me, you know, one of those big fuckers that thwack off everything. A thwacker. Oh, now I've knocked the camera as well, so this is just going peachy, this is. Oh dear. Come on, you little fucker. Come on, over here. Come off. Go and find a new world to explore in. How did you get in? The window was closed. Where have you come from, Mr. Alien Moth? Yep, that way. That's it. Out the door. Bugger off. Bugger off. Oh, for God's sake, why isn't it going out? Off. Oh, almost flew in my mouth, guys. Well, that's just going to be really annoying more than anything else. Has it flown out? I have no idea now. I don't know where it is. Right, so what were we doing? Apologies for that, guys. And attacked by a moth in my own house. So they don't bother me, but you know the ones that just whack off the wall and just fly in your face, and especially when you're trying to race. So let's see if we can get this camera sorted. How's that? That looks terrible. How about that? Nope. In some ways it's worse. That, and we'll just lower it down a little bit. If I can stop dicking around. Just come down a little bit more. Is that in my way? No, it's not in my way. That's the main thing. As long as it's not in my way. Let's close that door. Okay. Apologies for that, guys. Let's continue. Let's get around this course and have another go, another lap. I'm just going to scooch away for a 3-minute 55 lap. Oh, is that moth back? Oh, go away. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to turn off this cam and have a fight with a moth. That won't bugger off and leave me alone. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? It's flying right in front of my face as I'm trying to race. Every time I go to get it, it disappears. Right, get out. Let me race in peace. Bugger off. Can't even catch the bugger. Go on, out there. Right, there we go. We're moth free. We are moth free. I'm blaming that bad lap completely on the moth. Right. Where were we anyway? Apologies, guys. Let's get her back on it. Let me get my seat back in position. What a whack here. This is a great time, this is. I'm proud for this one to be on the board. I don't know what happened to Ghost there. Did you see that? It just flashed across the screen and dived to the line. I don't think the Ghost worked properly there. I think the time's been too much. I just didn't know what the hell I was doing. So we've gone through again, 125, 5 miles per hour down from our ideal, but let's keep going. So we're going to half brake and then trail brake through this turn, but we didn't put enough brake on, and again we've ruined the lap before it's even started. Really need to practice that first turn. I think that's what I'm going to do. Going to exit the session, store those times and have a quick look at them, see what we could have got, and then we are going to scrutinise some stuff. So you can see that the first lap I did was the best lap, with the exception on every sector, of exception of the last one, where on the 5th lap I did that in 2 seconds less time. Well, you know, just over a second, which actually, you know, should I have put those sectors together, I would have got a 2:03.1. So I actually would have shaved half a second off my timings had I have strung those sectors all together in a single lap. So yeah, so we know we can do it. We know we definitely can improve on that time. It's that turn one. Bit frustrated that I keep coming off of it every time. So we're gonna try again. I think I'm gonna get rid of the Ghost if I can. I don't know how to get rid of him. If Is there like clear ghost? I suppose if I just exit, that would do the job, wouldn't it? And we'll just go. I could have just turned off the ghost, couldn't I? That would have done the job for us. Let's go back in. Qualifying time trial in the R8. And we are going to aim for a race. We're going to go in for the race that's going to take place in 20 minutes. So at 10 to 11 UK time. So we've got 20 minutes to improve on that 203.6. So, what have I done with my thing here? So yeah, we'll go in for a race at 2 in about 20 minutes time. There's one starting right now, but I still, like I said, I still really want to nail this lap. Especially need to get some consistency on that first turn if I'm to translate this into actual techniques that I use in the race as well. Like a few of them I think I've, oh, for God's sake, look at that. A few of them I think I've got from that I wasn't doing before, that I was approaching slightly differently. I think my number one issue is I actually like over brake. Oh, for God's sake. I've learned something about this. Racing can be one of the most frustrating experiences, especially just lapping. You know, just trying to make the most of your laps can be one of the most frustrating experiences. So let's see what we can do here. No ghosts on. Just focus on the track in front of us. So we're gonna brake. So the problem there, again, I'm repeating with this, is I'm coming onto the brake all right, but I'm trying to trail brake, but I'm pulling my foot up a little bit too high when it just needs to stay. This is the problem, is you don't want it to be fully down because you don't want full brake, but you don't want to have it up so low that it doesn't slow down the car enough, and that's the technique I'm not quite getting right. So a bit slow through there, but we're more interested on the technique in turn 1 here, more than anything else. So we're going to wait for the 50 mark, half brake, gear down, gear down, gear down, and we're probably a little bit slow through that, but we'll take it, we'll take it. Alright, let's just get through the rest of the course and clock that time. If we get through cleanly, if not, we'll do a restart. If we spin off or anything like that, no point seeing it through if we don't have a reason to carry on. And we're going to go up through here. Done that in 34 seconds, so not a bad first sector, but I lost a bit of unnecessary time there as I didn't come off brake on the apex properly, and I've messed up there again. Again, it's just trying to get this trail braking right, which is something I'm admittedly struggling with, but you won't get better if you don't keep going. So we'll just keep plodding on through, see if we can get this turn run technique right. Remember, we're half braking when we get to the 50 meter mark, turning, trying to keep the car under control, and then we're just using our trail braking until we're at the appropriate speed. So half brake through here, gear down. See, I think the problem is when I hit that curbstone, I lose grip completely. I can't feel like it slides from underneath me when I hit that curbstone, so maybe I just need to come at it a little bit wider. And I'm not really paying attention. It doesn't matter. Again, I'm not really not trying to clock a lap time here. I'm just trying to perfect turn 1. But if we do get a good turn 1, then obviously we'll plough on through the lap and see where that leads us. We're pushing on a bit harder. We're going to get to the 50, half brake, and I was a bit late there. And look at that, we're spun off. I'm going to keep going, guys. Not the most exciting thing to ever do on stream, but this is literally what practice is. It's doing what it says on the tin, guys. Almost lost it. Had to apply a bit of counter steer to keep the car facing forward, so we're about 123 going through the start line, so not our optimum speed here, but again, we're just practicing our technique for this turn 1. So I come off the brake again a little early there, and again overrun, and you can see a reoccurring pattern here. That maybe guys, I'm just not good enough. I will get this right. Perseverance and such. So let's just keep positive attitude like this. So we're going to go through at 123 again. Just need to do my speed to go through this, go through the start line. So we're going to go. So maybe a little bit too slow towards the end there, but that's not bad actually. I still can do better, but I've done better on that, but that's not bad. So we're going to actually apply a little braking there, just so we can keep on the line. I don't actually normally apply a bit of braking there, but I'm going to try it. And we're going to accelerate and brake a little bit here, just to, again, keep us, so we can keep a nice line. And then we're going to half accelerate through this turn until at the apex and full accelerate, which should allow us to use the track width to get maximum speed up along this stretch. We're going to brake on that, and then we're going to turn now, and we're going to try and accelerate when we hit the apex, and then full accelerate when we can put the wheel straight. So we're at 55 seconds, so that's nothing remarkable outside of what I've managed to do in the past. So we're definitely not pulling up any roots here. We're maybe a little bit late on the accelerator for that one. Need to sort of pull the push the apex forward a bit so I can go on the accelerator a bit earlier on that one. So here we're going to full brake and then trail brake our way through, which we again haven't quite done the trail braking right. I'm trying to trail brake, but I'm really light on the accelerator, which isn't trail braking. You need half brake, which you see how much I've lost just through one bad bit of technique. Unforgiving, but we'll keep going. So brake, brake, brake into this turn, down through here, and full acceleration. Now I reckon I'm still, when we come to race, I'm still going to put on traction control, because I said it on the video the other day and I stand by it, that, you know, speed is obviously important. It's a racing, you know, speed is not important, but a consistency, man, consistency all the way. So we got through there all right. Again, I feel like maybe braking a little bit too heavy, but considering how much we spun off, I'm just wanting us to get a time in and see if we can break that 203. We're maybe a little bit early on the accelerator there, so we had to pull off a little bit, but that wasn't too bad through that sector. So we're going to brake at 50 and then come off, and we might have slid a little bit there. Can we keep this together? Now, probably not the neatest ever, and we're probably a bit slow through that turn. Lost probably a good second there, let's be honest. So we're definitely not going to be pulling up any roots on this lap either. But let's see if we can at least get to the end of it. No, I was on the grass, went to accelerate, had no grip on my front left wheel, which meant I had a bunch of oversteer, the back of the car kicked out, and here we are. So, I'll try again. Brake, 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 hit that apex nicely, and let's hit this apex nicely. Full acceleration, get as fast as we can out into this corner. So we're at 125 going for that time, so we're a bit faster, a couple of miles per hour faster than what we normally do. Okay, we'll hit that 50 marker and brake, 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 and not watching again. See, I think there's another thing as well that I'm doing. It's because I'm trying to keep an eye on where the brake, how much on the braking is actually being applied compared to what's happening on my foot. So I'm not actually watching what's happening on the road, which sounds like a stupid thing to do when you're driving, but you know, on this I'm finding, you know, a split second when you're not looking at the wrong place, the right place can kill you. It will take you out of the game. So let's try this again. So we're gonna apply half brake going through here, Now we probably broke at the wrong time and lost us a bunch of grip in the wheels, and lo and behold, we messed it up once again. It's been many attempts here where we just haven't been able to put in a clean, even a clean lap, let alone a competitive one. So not our best night at the moment. We'll keep persevering. So we're going to accelerate nice and hard into this first corner, get to the 50 marker, apply brake, trail brake through. A bit. Oh, that was actually really nice there, and then we just caught something. As you can see, the back end lost grip, and we spun out. But the speed I hit that, and the braking I applied felt right. It's just like I said, the unfortunate is whatever happened there, we lost grip by the change of the by hitting the curbstone and maybe just coming up a bit too high on it. But that felt like the right speed, where I was going to get through that turn if the car managed to stay stable. So again, I feel like the back end of me is kicking out like hell there. Okay, not the best ever, but I'm going to take it because I'm not getting much else through this. Let's accelerate up into here, come off the accelerator whilst we try and do this. Again, full accelerate, a little bit of braking just to keep us on the inside. Hit that apex, full acceleration, then as we come to this apex, half accelerate until we hit it, and then off we go. Should be able to run straight through now. So we've got these two lovely turns. This one's not too bad if you can just get the timing quite right, which we did there perfectly. This one maybe broke a little early, but we got through with a good speed. And we actually run that sector pretty well, actually. So we're going to brake, brake, brake. We're not going to lose our grip going through here. Sensible acceleration. Now I need to get those wheels straight earlier on that apex. This bit is where I'm possibly losing a good second or two. Is coming out of that hairpin there. I'm just going to feather it so we can hit that apex. We're going to gear down to 2, which I forget to keep doing. And then we're going to full accelerate straight out of this. And this feels a little bit better. I realise I haven't put my cam on for the wheel, so I'll turn that on shortly. So we're going to get to 50, going to come off the accelerator, turn, 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 accelerate on. So we got to about 136 there. So still not quite as efficient as our guy on the leaderboard, but we took that very slow through the chicane there, so we probably lost a good second as well. So definitely not one of our best laps, but you know, a 2:04.3. So at least we've done a clean lap now, and we've got something to bench our mark ourselves against. So we're going to brake through here, drop to third, and we've gone a bit too fast. We've egged it a little bit too much, and now we've lost grip. We're going to probably spin out before we try and get grip. So you can see we lost 3 seconds on our previous best time there. So we're just going to see the lap through this time, because I feel like, again, I think the frustration with this lap, I feel like I've got the rest of it kind of relatively consistent. It's just that first turn, man. It's an absolute, just can't seem to get it. I'm braking far too heavily, or I'm not braking enough. I just can't seem to hit that sweet spot in between. So, but we are going to just continue. Come through that. So we'll see if we can get this apex right. So we hit it a bit later, and then we'll try and straighten the wheels out. That's what we wanted to do. We didn't quite do right last time. Oh, and that one I completely messed up. So let's just get the car under control. Get it back on the tarmac. Oh, for God's sake. I bet it's going to wait as well. Oh, thank God. At least it's giving us the penalty here. I thought it was going to wait until the next lap in order to feed us that penalty. But as long as it does, it's a dead lap anyway to us, so it doesn't really matter. So let's just get through. and pay the piper. So we're at 1:45 now, so we're going to try one more lap after this, and then we're going to go to race. Because we have been, I'm really hoping that we can beat that 2036, but at the minute we just aren't. So let's get ourselves on the grid. Let's aim for that consistency. Not necessarily worried about winning every bloody race, but just, you know, play clean, keep a consistent pace, and just don't do anything stupid, really. So I'm blasting through here now. We're going to hit that 50 marker, apply brake, and we have done that fantastically. Let's ease it through here. So just apply a little bit of brake and light braking through there, just to so we can make that turn. So you can see we're about 1/3 of a second up from where we were, but we lost that time through a little bit of a poor line through there. And we're going through here, we brake, turn, let's hit that, and off we go. So we're maybe a little bit slower on the accelerator than our best time there, so we've lost that time, a difference that we had. We're probably a little bit weak through there, but let's get our wheels straight and let's get on the accelerator and chase ourselves down. So again, we're a little bit behind here, and our previous best lap is making gains. So we did that much more neatly than last time. You can see we got a really good exit there. So we should be able to climb some time up here. As you can see, maybe get this up to 1/3 of a second. We'll drop to 50, come off the accelerator, turn through that, and then come back on the accelerator, maybe a little bit early back on the accelerator, and we've pushed it too hard. And we have come off. So I don't think that would have been our time to beat the 203. We obviously would have probably beat the 204 if we didn't push that too hard at the end there. As you can see, we did. And so we're going to quit. So we've got 3 minutes now until 22:50. So we're going to just look at the results of what we've just done there. Maybe should have finished that lap so it would have been included, but what can you do? So you can see there, big session. A big session. Not a very big session there. For some reason it's not saying that I did best in section 1 and 3 on that first lap, when quite clearly did. But you know, not really much to glean on that one. Although we did do the final section a little bit clearer, and had we have done that on the first lap, combined that time, that would have been a relatively good lap. But it would have. I maybe should have finished out that last lap before I quit. But it is what it is. So let's get ourselves into a race and let's see how we get on. So deadline is in 2 minutes. I'm going to enter this time with the R8. So I've never actually joined the race yet in the R8. I've sort of moved over to the R8, but let's see how we fare on. So you've got a couple of minutes here before the stream starts, so to take the opportunity to have a little break and unwind. Seeing the stream quality is coming through alright. 1080/60. Never been able to stream at that kind of thing before, so we're quite pleased about that. So you can see, so I reckon just like normal, again it depends who we match up with. I've had this qualifying time, this 2:03.6 for a while, and it's started me anywhere between 5th and 12th, you know, so it's quite a, it kind of really depends on who you get matched up with and what drivers you get rated up with. But again, my main aim is not necessarily looking to win every race and and like show that I can go faster in a race than I can in quali. It's more about consistency and just keeping my wheels on the track and making sure I'm not spinning out or doing anything stupid, and just making sensible choices. So that's what I'm really trying to train myself when it comes to racing in GT Sport at the minute, as opposed to really thinking, oh my god, I want to win every race and I'm the best racer in the world, which I'm trying to be a bit more pragmatic, I think is the correct terminology. Should be starting about 50 seconds. I don't know why I'm saying that out loud. You can literally see anything on the screen. Let's see if we get a nice match up, and let's see if we can get a good race. And at least, you know, well, we'll see what our strategy is when we see who we're lined up against and what the timings are like. And you know, because I've been in a race where the guy above me who's 3 seconds in front in quali, and the guy behind me is 7 seconds behind, which, you know, you can just assume in the race wise you're gonna have quite a gap between either side of you, so it's going to be quite a comfortable race. Whereas if you've got loads of people around you with similar quali times, and you're gonna have people that are going to be able to, racing at roughly your pace. So yeah, really do want to grind down this quali time of 2:03, but I'm just not able to. Especially that turn one, man. That turn one is absolutely ruining me when I'm trying to get that right. So we're going to take a more conservative approach on turn one in race itself, so I'm not coming off track just for the sake of trying to get myself from a 2:03 down to a 2:02 in the race. So we're just doing the matching now. Let's see what we've got. Just joining the sesh. What we got. So we've actually come in fourth here, so it's actually given us a decent grid. You can see there people behind us at a pace that they can compete with me up until 10th really. I feel like anything beyond that, maybe we might have the pace on them throughout the lap. Then we've got two unknowns sitting there at the back. But we've got a group that are all not necessarily fast races, but we've all got good safety ratings at A, so hopefully that will be adhered to and we can just have a nice race. I'm in a pack of R8s there. So let's see how we get on. So we're just loading into the track now. In for the warm-up and such. Like I said, my aim on this is gonna be try and hold fourth, or maybe try and, the South African in front of me in third is third and second are doable. Those times aren't unreachable. Depends if they're consistently hitting those times on the lap themselves, or whether or not they're, that's something that's out of the blue for them. So quite an open race actually. I'm quite excited to take part in this one. But also in the same verse and behind me, I've got a lot of people there as well that can really cause me problems. So we've got a little bit of warm-up time, which I'm just going to spend leaning back in my chair. Oh, Patrick, you're here for the race. Vroom, vroom. Racing on this make me quite nervous because of all the safety ratings and stuff. You don't want to do anything stupid. They make me slightly nervous. It's really weird. Got about 20 seconds until we start off. Third on the grid. Like I said, those quali times. I think we've had a couple of people drop out, I think. Because I feel like I've gone up. I feel like there's a guy who was on 2:02 on the top of the grid when we started. But so let's see how we get on. One thing I've got to remember is turn on the TCS, which I maybe should have done that in the warm-up, but just give myself the traction. I've done 2:03s with the traction control on anyway. It's just going to give me that little bit of stability. So, yeah, I don't want a health and safety officer to give me a chatting to, no. The sports race director. So it should be a rolling start. But let's see if we can get a podium finish would be great. But only managed one podium finish so far on this game. So we're going to switch over, move the TCS onto 2, and then we'll just keep the radar so we can see who's in our vicinity. But we are going to have our traction on. So get ready for the start of the race. Rolling start in 3rd position. So let's see if we can get to someone's slipstream straight away. So we're just going to tuck ourselves in behind the South African here. And see if we can keep that slipstream. And we're going to brake at 100 just to be a bit safer. And these guys haven't done too well. Going to perhaps take the inside there. No, that gap got closed, so I decided not to take it in the end. So we're into the S-bends now. Position 1's not doing very well holding it together. He's waving all over the place. And I've come off track a little bit there. So we've had to just ease off a little bit and concede a position. We've got someone on the inside of me here. Definitely has the position on me, so let's just come off a little bit. Brake, 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 and get through this turn nice and safely. Got a clip on the back there. And we are conceding position, but he's got a 1 second penalty for his clip. So hopefully if we can keep up with him, we can take that position back. So this guy's now got a 2 second penalty. So we definitely should be able to take our position back from him at least. And he's come off track there, so we're just going to make sure we don't come and hit the AstroTurf. We've hit the AstroTurf and we've spun off. Oh dear. So let's just try and get ourselves back together. This has not been a great race so far, considering we started up in 3rd place and we've dropped down to 12th is really not. But hopefully we can now start working our way up a little pack. So I'm going to try and take this guy on the inside. He's going to have that line. So that was not fantastic there. Spinning off when we hit the AstroTurf. Well, let's see if we can at least climb some positions from where we are right now. So that is a very poor first lap. And we find ourselves in the 11th position with a 1 second gap in front of us, but we still have plenty of laps to make this up. Oh my god, not done very well there. Thought I was in quali still for some reason. But could have been much worse. We managed to hold it together and not only lose about 1 second, which is not insurmountable with how scrappy this race is being at the minute, but unfortunately this has not been a good race for me. So we can see someone's got a good 5 second penalty on Foppers there. So we've managed to climb a position. So let's try and make some gains here, because we know we've got a good lap in us if we really push ourselves. So you can see now we've made some gains on the Volkswagen in 9th. And let's just keep pushing, pushing, pushing. So let's see if we can get in this Volkswagen slipstream. Geared up a little short there by accident. So he's left some space on us on the inside. Number 8's also spun out, but we've gone a little bit too fast on there, so we've had to apply a bit of braking to make sure we can stay on. So we've climbed 2 positions on this boom bend there from mistakes from other riders. So he's gonna bump me there for literally no reason because he felt like it. So he's come off the accelerator a bit earlier than me. So let's just get through. What? No, we've lost some grip for some reason. I've never come off there before. I've lost grip in the middle of a race. Oh dear. Never lost grip there before. Well, at least we can say it's been a clean race. The only thing I can take away from this race just hasn't been my race at all. So maybe a bit too fast going through there. So let's just try and get some good laps in the end here and see if we can at least reclaim 10th, which quite honestly with a 3-second lead, unless he does something stupid, which there's a good chance at this sort of this far back on the grid, but so we've climbed a bit of time there. You can see now we've only got a 2-second gap, so we've definitely made some time in the S-bend there. We're going to brake. We're going to come through here, then we're going to brake through here. And you can see again we've made some good time. He lost a bit of grip through there. We've got the pace on him here, so we can really close down that gap going into the hairpin. So brake. We'll see if we can get a better apex on him, which we have. So if we get the acceleration and get behind him now. So we definitely can use this slipstream. And what we're hoping to do here, I'm not actually hoping for an overtake. I'm hoping he's going to try and push too hard and miss the braking zone here. So he broke quite heavily into that. So he's playing the blocking game, and I just rammed him, so I'm going to get a penalty there. Maybe. Oh my god, grip on this one. I'm supposed to have the traction control on. Your faith is very misplaced, Patrick. Very misplaced. That just hasn't been a neat race for me. Normally have much neater races than this, but you know, you can't do fantastic in all of them. And this guy behind in front of me, I'm faster than him, but unfortunately he's more interested in swinging around this back end and making it hard to overtake than he is to actually trying to beat me with pace. So that's someone else come off here, and we've got a penalty, a 3-second penalty being put onto 9th place here. Unfortunately, now he's got in between me and 8th, means I'm not likely to close that gap between myself and him. So I have to get in front of him. Didn't get a great line through there like last time, so we're not going to make any gains on him. No, he's got a 2.5-second lead, and we've only got half a lap left, so I'll be very surprised if I can get in front, which I'm a bit disappointed by, because I've definitely got the pace in him, and I had my opportunity before, but just wasn't the right part of the track to try and overtake him. And now he's taken this very poorly here, so if I can get on this accelerating nice and early, you can see I'm closing the gap, but nowhere near enough for me to be able to threaten him. I know I can get through this turn faster than him, but again, even if I get through this faster than him, it doesn't mean much if I'm not going to take him on this chicane, which I can try. So we got right up to him at the end. We definitely would have had him if maybe had another lap to have a go at him. But that's a very poor performance there from qualifying 3rd and dropping down to 9th. Really bad mistake in the first lap, which just sort of set me back a long way. But you know, there's some things to take away from that. We did have some overtakes there. We did have some things that we were able to do. But in general, a little disappointed with that race. But you know, each race I learn. Oh, your faith was misplaced, but I love you as well, Patrick. I'm definitely going to save the replay from that race, because it's the bad races you learn a lot more from than the good ones, so we're gonna save that replay and store it for another day. Now you can see that I actually got a dip on my safety rating. It still stayed at A. I don't know what I did there to dip my safety rating. I know I knocked someone in the back, but and obviously I hit the barrier, but didn't really knock anyone off or like take anyone out or kill anybody. So a little disappointed to have a dip on my a safety rating there. We clocked in a 205.5, which isn't bad. In terms of the no, this isn't going to look good. So the position chart, you can see a lot of activity in that first lap. A lot of activity going on in that very first lap. But you can see, you know, we dipped right down to 10th, right down to 12th place, and we slowly worked ourselves up to 10th, and even worked ourselves up to 8, and then we kind of come off again. Sat some time in 11th, and then with a few areas happening in front of us means we finished the race in 9th. So, you know, probably not my proudest ever race, but do I always use that? Yeah, I mean, I used to, as you know, when I race in Forza, I race behind the car, but I'm finding this view easier for getting better track times, and you can use the radar and stuff to see who's around you. There's a little car radar that's at the bottom on the HUD, so you can use that to see who's in your blind spots and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm finding this view's being the view that I race in. This is why I quite like making the videos. You can sort of mess around with the views and show a lot of different angles and stuff. So, we've got another race happening in 3 minutes. We're going to have another swing at it, see if we can perform a bit better. Again, I'm not particularly worried about my position, whether I'm finishing in 10th, 9th, whatever. It's just a case of being consistent, which last race I wasn't. So, so I've got about 4 minutes or so before matching up begins. I can promote myself on the Gran Turismo official Discord. Why not? Yeah, there's a little radar. I switch it on when I'm in races. You use little buttons on your wheel to sort of show different things on the HUD, and one of them is like the traction control. You can turn that up and down on the fly. But another one of the ones you can get like a track map which shows you like upcoming turns and stuff like that. But the one that's obviously helpful in races, like a radar thing, which doesn't show you cars in front of you, but cars to the side and cars behind you, sort of how close they are and stuff. Plus, you get these little kind of like, if you've got a car on the left-hand side of the screen, this little your screen kind of darkens a little bit, and has this little symbol appear, so you can kind of tell through that as well. What have you been playing on anyway these days, Paddy? You still on the old Modern Warfare? I was about to say again, it's 2.5 minutes till it starts, but you can literally see it. Well, I don't feel I need to commentate literally the only thing that's happening on the screen. There'll be no FA Cup replays next season. What? I quite like the FA Cup replays. Why is Billy Connolly trending on you? He trends every like a couple of months on Twitter, and I keep thinking he's dead, but no, he's not dead. Be a sad day when old Billy guy at the big yin. Not many people that you know, like you always get that stuff. I know I go on like work exercise things, and you got to do these things like, oh, write down who you like your idea of a or your hero or your idol is. It's just, oh, I hate exercises like that. If it wasn't old Billy's mind, man, like father of alternative comedy. I love that. Some of the 70s comedy, some of the, you know, prior bloody. Even like actually going to the 90s, even like Izzard and rock and stuff like that, man. So, lots of Warzone. Watching you whilst hoovering up Tsushima collectibles. Have you finished the main story now of it? Yeah, I finished up with Tsushima about a week or two ago. Really, really enjoyed it, man. I didn't sweep up the map after. I kind of nearly had it everything anyway, but I didn't do that final sweep after the game. Just kind of watch the credit rolls and go, that was good. But yeah, man, really enjoyed it. My game of the year so far, anyway. Gone back to Kingdom Come a Deliverance for some reasons. I can't put my finger on about what that game like. I kind of equally hate it and think it's great. I can't really work it out. 3 more missions, yeah, man. Like, not like the best story ever told in games, but it's a really serviceable story. It just, you know, fits the world around it. It's good. Alright, so we've got through the matching period. Let's see what we get. See what the grid's like this time. I kind of hope I'm further back in the grid. I don't know why. I always feel a bit more comfortable. We're in third again. So maybe that 203.6 is a better quality time than what I give it credit for. But it is what it is. Yeah, it's one of those ones. The first time I ever played on Kingdom Come, I gave up on it. I got like quite a lot of hours into it, and then I got distracted, started playing something else, or just got bored of it, whatever. But I don't know what it was. Is like each time I come back to it, I find more about it that I like. Yeah, needlessly, yeah. That first time that happened, like I was, you know, obviously it's about half through the story. You get that slaughter ability. Didn't see it coming at all. Honestly, when that happened, I went. I made a noise I hadn't made in a few years, definitely. So we are going to keep the traction control on, even though I don't know. Didn't really seem to stop me from sliding off at certain periods. But this time we are going to take part in the warm-up. So we're starting in the same grid position as last time. So let's see if we can do better than a 9th finish, which not the most ambitious in the world, I have to admit, but like I said, just a bit. I don't mind if I drop a couple of spaces, and it's just if I can stay on track and be consistent and not screw myself over. It's another thing when someone like overtakes me and races better than me, then I can kind of concede that. But when it's my fault because I'm just being like an idiot and I'm not paying attention, or I'm focusing more on the cars around me than I am the track itself, you know, and things like that. So just whee. See there, if that was in the race, I would have come spinning off. So race will begin. 6 seconds. We've got quite a tight packed timings behind us. Anyone really from the front of the race till 13th has the potential to be able to take me on a lap. So hopefully should have a nice competitive race again. Just need to perform a bit better. So we're racing against a few beetles and stuff like that. Beetles are good because they can nip in front of you on the inside and bloody really mess you up. So we are going to check our TCS. TCS is currently off, so we're going to just set that on to on. See, last time that didn't come on. I swear that light didn't come on. I must have been racing last time without any TCS. That's why I slid off when I didn't think I should have. And perhaps pushing it because I thought I had TCS to back me up. So let's just stay in this guy's slipstream. Might even be able to get on the inside of him here and take him in the first corner, but you know what, let's not push ourselves too much. And I've already fucked up sort of, but I just had to bring that back, and let's concede a position. And that's totally fine to concede that position. Fucking hell, alright, mate. What the hell's going on? Just knocked off the track completely. Oh dear. Well, that's not very nice, is it? Completely knocked off the track. How that guy got a penalty for that? Not really too much I could have done there. They were supposed to, you know, if you can't get past someone, you're supposed to not get past them. That's literally what racing is. Part of me's thinking that this is probably just a bit of a symptom of what online races are like sometimes, and I think eventually it's, I don't know if it's going to require me to change games or something like that. Some of the races, some of the people in this are just dirty, you know. And it's frustrating because, you know, there I kind of messed up on a bit on, to be honest, I messed up turn 1, let's be honest, but I kind of had it together. I got knocked by about 3 different cars there, just wiping me out. So we'll just see what we can do, just to see if we can make some time up and get on the top of people's mistakes like that. Anyone else who comes up, we should be able to take them, because we didn't have, well, it was quite a bad hit, let's be honest. But, so we've got some people going quite slow up here, so let's see if we can catch them with our efficient racing. Brake, 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 brake. Don't need to go to 1, I don't know why I did that. Keep it together, there we go. So we can see a couple of penalties happening in front of us here, so more opportunities to overtake. I think that's a 1.5, is that a 1 second or 1.5 second penalty in front of us? So let's see what we can do to catch up. We've definitely left that pack behind us in dust, so let's just get through here nice and safely, not do anything overtly stupid, and let's just keep up with this, with the German in 10th here. Again, a little bit disappointed how this race has gone, considering again I poled in 3rd, but I feel like last time it was my fault. This time definitely not my fault. That I'm so far back on the grid. I'm having to work my way up through it now, when I definitely have the pace on some of these people in front of me here. As I said, in a 4-lap race, your overtaking opportunities are sometimes a bit few and far between, so you just got to take them as they come. We had someone one ride there, which you often do a couple times a lap, so we run a little wide that one, so we've had to come off the acceleration a little bit. See, 8th position is ghosted here, so we're going to brake, 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 and see if we can take the inside on him here, which we have. So we've still got a couple of people in front of us with penalties, especially keeping up with this guy in 8th. And we have gone a little wide here. See if we can hold it together, which we have. And we've held position, and I've messed up again. It's frustration, and so is the guy in 9th, in fairness. So these guys coming up behind us are going to have the pace on us, so I'm not going to be a knob about it. I'm just going to concede the position, although no need to literally hit me on the way through. Let's see if we can take them here. So we're going to take them on the inside here, and late braking, but we've overcooked it, guys. We've overcooked it, and again we're racing at the back of the pack. They did push me. They did push me, Paddy. You kicked me out of the race. Let's hope we see a couple more errors here. You can see the only positive you have about racing at the back of the grid is you've got a lot of people coming off track, so a lot of opportunities to climb up a few positions. Again, just disappointed this race as well, actually. Although I have to admit, a couple of the things that have gone wrong, this has not completely been in my control, but a couple of things have been, and I've made a few errors here and there, such as trying to get on the inside of that guy. So you can see here we're achieving a bit more consistency now. We maybe took that corner a little too deep, but we kept it together and didn't get a penalty for it. So that's a good time for us. See if we can keep this on the straight and narrow and get on that accelerator nice and early. So we've still got a lap and a half left here, so there's still potential to move up on the grid. It's got a spoon corner which we sometimes get people coming off. We've got a tight pack in front of us, so let's see if we can take advantage of anyone who's running a bit wide whilst avoiding the same ourselves. So we'll keep behind this VW. See if we can. So he broke a little bit there into his turn, so we're going to try and take him on the inside. Didn't really have the opportunity to, so we decided we backed out of it, but we're in this pack still. And let's see if we can keep up and keep in the slipstream. And turn 1 everyone struggles at, so hopefully we lose somebody in turn 1. Unfortunately, this guy spawned right in front of me. So we've got a nice pack, nice tight pack here, which someone there got a 4-second penalty. See, thought he'd do that, pushing too hard to get past me, meant he didn't take an efficient line through that turn. So see if we can claim 7th place, because this guy in front of us got a 4-second penalty, and we're only a second and a half behind him. So let's just keep this all tight and neat. Oh, we've clipped the grass, and we've messed up the entire race. Womp womp. So this has again been another terrible race where I've performed pretty goddamn poorly, let's be honest. Let's not beat around the bush about it. Again, coming off track there, and this has been an absolute disaster from start to end. We might even lose this position here if we don't get out of this chicane and just finish this damn race. We didn't even finish. DNF. Oh no. Yeah, frustration is key. Is disappointed actually. I made a lot of mistakes, and you know, yeah, I can say that someone knocked me off on the first lap and I lost my 3rd position, dropped straight to 12th, but you know, a lot of mistakes beyond that. When I'm saying I'm trying to achieve consistency and I'm getting nowhere near it, that's the frustration. So we did manage to do good on the safety rating though, which is again one of my main aims, is just, you know, achieve a decent safety rating and making sure I'm not ruining races for other people. As much as people are happy to ruin them for you. So are we going to do one more? When's the next race? So they've got a deadline in 6 minutes. We are going to enter it, but we're going to go to track. And I'm going to make this the last race of the night, I reckon. But we've got a good 8 minutes or so to the next one, so we can try and do a couple of laps and see if we can just get back in the zone a little bit. But I do find when I play this game, normally play it for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I start to get worse. I start to get noticeably worse. But this one's just been from the start, to be honest with you. I struggle with this circuit as well, I think. Like the last circuit we were on, Dragon Tail, is sort of, you know, a lot more competitive and seemed to hold it together. But this course it's been on for a while, and I think it's still going to be on for another week. So I might try one of the other daily races that are going up. There's GT1, which are even faster cars, which I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing. Probably a bad thing, let's be honest. Let's get out there and just do our outlap. Oh no, it's auto driving it. So we've got the TCS off. So we'll go without the traction control and just see if we can best our quali. So we've got about 5 minutes until the race starts, so we'll see what we can do. Get a couple of laps in that time. So we're going to try our technique at 50. We're going to drop down, see there again, hitting that curbstone. Got to be so precise on that turn, and we're still spinning. Oh my god! You've got to be so precise on that first turn when you're trying to do it that way. Like obviously that's not the way I was doing it in race. I was just sort of braking where the cones are, where like the game says this is the start of the braking zone. But I know the best lap is brake a bit later, which you can see causes chaos. But if you can nail it right, you gain about a second out of the lap, which, you know, is kind of what I'm trying to get to. There you go, just trail brake through. There we go. That was what I was looking for. And full acceleration. And let's see how this does. If we can hold this lap together and not do any major mess ups and just do our usual techniques. Because like I said, it's turn one that I really struggle on. Really do. And I mean, I can get through it quickly, consistently, but to get through it fast, I know quickly and fast what's the difference, but I mean like as in faster than what I'm normally doing is you have to change your technique, change your approach, you know, to get faster, and that's just taking some time to adjust, you know. So let's half accelerate through here and make sure we get the most. So with 54.7, that's pretty good for us. That's pretty good. So we're just going to get around here. Again, not pulling up any trees though, not really doing anything that's making any huge gains on our lap time, on our current best of 203.6. So let's just keep it together and see this lap through. So we're going to brake, trail brake through here, and then we're just going to come off, lightly tap the brake, drop down to 2, and accelerate out of this turn, making sure we don't clip the AstroTurf, which we almost did there and almost span out, but we kept it together. So we probably lost a tenth of a second or a couple tenths of a second there, losing control. So we're going to gear up through here and we're going to stay at a nice high 137 we dropped to there, which I know we can do at 140, but that's still pretty good, let's be honest. And let's make sure we're looking at the exit as we hard accelerate out of this turn, and let's see what time we've got. So 203.8, it's the best of the night, best lap time we've achieved on the night, so that's definitely something. That's really good to know, and we really did well on this first turn, so let's see if we can repeat that process. And you can see I definitely did better on it last time, although my exit speed here maybe a little bit too wide, so he's going to get the edge on me. Yeah. So let's see if we can make gains anywhere else in our lap and really see if we can actually clock a better lap time with this last 2 minutes. We've got a last opportunity before the start of the next lap. So you can see we lost a little bit of grip there, so we just got to try and keep it together. So we had to sacrifice a bit of time there. We had the edge on the lead, which might have led to the best qualifying time that we had, but we were going to lose it because the tyres ran out of grip, and if I had accelerated, I would have spun out, so I had to get the car under control first. So we're definitely not going to do it. We're about a second behind our best here, so unless we do something miraculous that we haven't done before on this bit. which we pulled off pretty well on the last lap, and we've spun out. So that's the end of our lapping. We're going to have to go in again with our 203.6 and see. I mean, that's put us third on the grid in the last 2 races, which, like I said, it can be so varied just who you get matched up with. I've been matched up putting third in the grid on that time, and I've been putting 12th, you know. But I kind of want a bit of a place further, a little bit back on the grid, to be honest with you, if I can. Because finding B at the front, you're just a target for someone to smash into you. Whereas in the middle, you know, you can maybe develop a gap and really start, you know, trying to push on somebody else. I feel like I'm better at attacking than I am at defending anyway. See, I can do it if I'm just not stressing about it too much. The only is I've only got 20 seconds left now, so probably best not do too good because I'll just get frustrated. Right, so we're about to go into the race here, so I will just let my car come to a stop. We'll stick it in, can't even get it into neutral, guys. There we go. And we'll just hang here for a mo until our race starts. But yeah, I think I'm likely going to make this the last race of the stream. Then I'm going to go and play something that doesn't involve racing for a bit, I think. Paddy, if you're still there, you need to download the old full guys thing, and I'll definitely play that with you. I don't know if it's cross-platform. See if we can get Al on it on PC, but of all the people I want to play it in the world with, it's with you guys, because you guys are funny. Have sense of humor. So we can see here, grid-wise, we're a lot further back, 11th, which it sounds weird that I'm pleased about that, but we're actually, you know, racing against much better races, so the expectation on us isn't as high. The gap behind us, a few people, you know, 12th, 13th, and 14th we're going to be competing with. 15th, if that's their real time, you know, we should be well in front of. And the Spanish and 16th is an unknown. So yeah, it's going to be awkward because I think when you're starting around here, like, because it's a rolling start, you start in that bloody in that chicane at the end, which is a bugger. But like I said, I'm happy with this because it just means I can focus on trying to gain on the person in front of me rather than worrying about too much what's behind me. Because this is it. It's all about keeping your head together and keeping your head on. I think that's what I've suffered from tonight, is that I'm splitting my concentration. And I think maybe, again, I don't know if I can put blame on everything else, but maybe it's like, this is the first time that I did it on Twitch the other night, and couldn't say I did that well that night, but this is the first night I've like streamed and raced, so I'm talking and I'm racing at the same time, which, you know, not that I'm trying to excuse myself or anything, but it's normally when I've been racing, like recording for the videos and stuff, I'm not talking, I'm concentrating, and I record over the replay, you know, I rewatch it and record over the top of it, provide some commentary, so it's a bit different. So I'm blaming it on you guys. Right, so we're going into the race now. 11th place, so I think someone's dropped out. No, that's where we were before. So let's see if we can perhaps hold or even gain a place or two. So we've got the person in front of me is definitely catchable, and the one in front of him clocking a 2:02 is again catchable. So we'll look at that grid again, see what possibles are in front of us as well. I think anyone who's clocking a 2:01 is ahead of us. So anywhere up to 5 really is potential at a pace we can catch up to. I mean, think 5th is a goal is very unrealistic, but you know, at the very least we can. So we're going to turn up the TCS. Just again try and get that consistency on the track. And let's just get to the radar so we can keep an eye on any cars nearby. Try and just, at least on top of everything, keep a clean race. So it's such an awkward start from that position where you're actually in the chicane itself. It means they naturally get a bit of a bigger gap. You know, I've already got a 1.4 second lead on me. So let's see if we can close that gap. through efficient racing. So we're just going to take a nice safe line through this one, and we're just going to more rely on people coming off than anything else in order to gain, rather than strictly trying to do strict overtakes and stuff. But we'll try and keep as close to the packs as we can, using slipstreams where we can and such. But I'm not going to try anything too risky this time after our past couple of races. Just like I said, I just want to have a consistent race where I feel like I've achieved everything I wanted to. That being said, however, this German's at a very slow pace, which possibly might give me the opportunity to overtake at some point. So someone else has come off here. We've got another flag warning of someone being off track, so we should be able to gain another position there. So we've got a couple of penalties in front of us as well. So we'll just let people... Oh, we did make a bit of contact there. So now we've moved up to 9th position. Again, I'm keeping half an eye on those chaps with penalties up there, because they get those penalties in really unfortunate places. So we're going to just brake nicely through here, take a nice conservative braking time, not doing anything too stupid, just making sure that we're staying nice and involved in the race. So we've got a chap who's going to be slowing down here, half-second penalty, so hopefully he's going to lose his pace a lot. And let's just see if we can get a line. So there's a lot of bumping going on here, so we're just going to ease off here and let these guys work out their differences. So there's a couple of people on the inside of me there, lost a couple of positions, took a bit of contact on the right. Someone diving up on me inside, wasn't quite aware of him. So again, in one fell swoop, we jumped right back to where we started after everything that we gained. So let's try and... So we're going to try the risky move through here, which I brake a little bit too hard, which means we're going to come off, and we're spun off, and I shouldn't have tried the risky move. Literally everything I've been saying for this whole race is trying to get consistency, then I make that decision. So let's just finish the race out now. So it hasn't been a good night for me anyway. I think not making the right choices, and just in general not racing well, actually, to be honest with you. Just having a bit of an off night. So let's see if we can at least try and hope someone makes a mistake in front of us. We are gaining a lot on 13th, so hopefully at very least we can make some gains there. We've still got a couple of laps left. Remember, we're only in the 2nd lap here. So let's not be too disheartened, and let's see if it will at least get up to the position where we started. So let's just make this turn. So this person in front of me's got a good 3-second lead, but we are closing that gap. They got a really poor exit speed on that. You can see that gap, and he slid off. There we go. So now we've got our position back of 11th. So let's just hope for a few more mistakes from the people in front of us over the next couple of laps, and see if we can make this race end in a gain as opposed to a loss, or even just a stay where you are. There's a big gap between us, 4 seconds. So we're going to try and do things as efficiently as we can and with a good pace, but again, not doing anything too stupid to ensure that we finish in last position. So we're in a decent gap between us and 11th place, so we're now sitting in one position raised up. I think someone might have dropped out or something of the race, so I'll take it. So we're just going to take a nice early braking zone in there. You can see the guy in front of me in Nope's run off, so we should be able to gain a few seconds. Definitely not enough to overtake, but enough to put him under the pressure and perhaps force him into a mistake. So he's broke through that turn, which should again give me a little bit more time to catch up. So now we're all within half a second. I also brake on this turn a little bit just to keep that nice line, but you can see that we may have an opportunity to take 9th, which we have there. He's run too wide. Like I said, that's what you're waiting for. Get behind them, put a bit of pressure on and wait for the mistake. Let's get through. So I've had another accident. I don't know if it's referring to the one before. We've had someone just ahead. Let's just get through our turns. So we're catching 8th, so it must have been 8th position. So his speed's very low. So we've got about a lap and a half to go. Just under a lap and a half to go. And we're sitting in 9th position, so we've gained 2 positions, but again, feel like perhaps we could have been doing a little bit better. Made a couple of errors, and another error there, sliding off, but let's see if we can keep it together. I've come off the track a little bit, but had a good 6 or 7 gap. Going to be a bit slow through this here. But we didn't get any penalties. We did lose a lot of time between us and 8th position, which we were starting to gain, but that's okay. Like I said, if we can hold this position here, then we've had a good race. Although we could have done better. So we're going to hit the chicane here and take that in a nice safe line, and then let's just... Oh, we did get ourselves a 1 second penalty there. That must have been for the... I reckon that was for the first chicane, so we're definitely going to have to just work on getting this gap in front of us up. But again, let's just be nice and safe about that and not do anything too ridiculous with our lapping, and just get ourselves, because that's going to give us a penalty on the long back straight. Which obviously you lose all your pace for it, so it's not even just the 1 second penalty, it's the fact you lose pace on that straight and people are gaining on you throughout it, you know. It's a real problem. But you can see we've gained a second even since we've got it, so we've even gained a bit of that time back. But you can see I'm maybe braking a little early, being a little conservative, making sure I'm just keeping the car together, because there's no way I'm catching 8th position, but I need to make it that 10th position is not going to come near me. I can secure at least this 9th place finish. So we've got a good 4.7 seconds lead on our on the Belgium in 10th. So we're going to be forced into some de-acceleration shortly. Tap on the brake there, get through, hit the apex, full acceleration. Now 8th actually had a crash there. Now they're not going to have this penalty, so we're forced a deceleration. It's a shame that we got that penalty there, because we probably would have went past him and claimed another place there, but it just wasn't to be. So let's just see the race through and make sure we don't do anything stupid through this last chicane, like earn another penalty, which I think is probably going to affect my sportsmanship rating, which is the only thing I'm trying to really focus on getting up. So this time at least we did finish the race. Not really setting a great best lap time there, but we did finish the race in 9th, which is good. At least we've gained positions as opposed to lost them. So you can see there, we actually went down on our safety rating. That's probably due to the fact we did incur a penalty there. Our best lap time is 2:07.3, which is really poor from us actually. We didn't really ever put in a good lap throughout that whole race. Dread to look at the lap chart, but let's do it anyway. So lap chart wise, last lap was kind of quite plain, but this one actually involves us having, we actually go out of view at some point. So you can see we started in 11th, climbed up a couple of positions on that first lap, and then after some really bad sections there, we drop all the way down to 14th, and then slowly throughout the race we climb ourselves one by one with a few, you know, with the help of, I'm not going to say that's all just skill, that's a few dropouts here and there and a few people making their own accidents, which meant we managed to finish the race in 9th overall. So guys, I think I'm going to call it the end of the stream there. I don't think it's been a particularly successful stream, but again, I'm just trying to get like better at this. So you know, you need to take the thick with the thin, and you need to take the bad nights with the good nights. And I started off with some really good races when I started playing on this, and you know, a Suzuka definitely struggled with more than any of the other tracks I've tried. Might try the daily race A. I think that's going to be my next aim, which is in Alsace. I can't tell. Is that a rally race? I don't know. I'll have to sort of get into it and have a go. But that's specifically for it in a Peugeot 208 GTI, so a bit of a slower race. All the other option is Group 1 at the Nürburgring GP, which is Group 1 is, you know, your really fast sports cars. So, you know, I think I'm going to build up to that. I think I'm quite happy with GT3 and GT4 cars, and possibly even going down to road cars as well. So, yeah, perhaps that's our next aim. Is we've still got a few days in this being our playlist. Oh, cheers, Paddy, man. Yeah, no, not my night at all. Yeah, a lot of things to learn and take away. I've saved a few replays which I can go and digest in my own time and pull apart what I need to work on. But I think my time at Suzuka Circuit might be done. I've done this track literally for about 5 days straight now, and I think I need to move on to something else. So we're going to move over to Alsace Village either in the next video or stream or whatever that be. But yeah, man, cheers, Paddy, for dropping in, man. Most appreciated. Give us a shout if you ever fancy playing some Fall Guys or whatever it's called, because I'm well up for giving it a go. And yeah, man, well, I'll see anyone else and everyone really soon. All right, guys, cheers, bye.